Hi everybody, welcome. Tammy from Homesteading in the City with Tammy. Today we're in the garden and I am going to show you how to care for your canna plants. If that is something that interests you, stick around. So before I get started with the tutorial for how to take care of your canna plants, I just wanted to take a moment to welcome everybody to my YouTube channel and to thank everybody who has joined. I've had quite a number of new subscribers in the last few weeks and months, and it is wonderful that people think that the content that I put out is beneficial and informative. So I really appreciate everybody who is supporting me through my YouTube channel. And for those of you who have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It does benefit me by you subscribing to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get started.
Today's sponsor is Evil Uncle Grimace Woodworking. It is an online store where you can get handmade, one-of-a-kind wood products. Products are made using sustainably harvested domestic and exotic hardwoods. The company currently offers cutting boards and coasters with additional products to come. Check out the website to see what they have to offer.
And you can start clipping your cannas back when the leaves start to turn yellow and start to die a little bit. Then you know that you're able to start cutting them back and get them ready to winterize them, because we have to pull the roots out of the ground and let them dry. Today is a really nice day here, so I'm gonna pull them out of the ground, out of my pots, let them get good and dry, and then set them on the deck, and that way they'll dry out. And then I end up storing them in a box with some straw in the bottom of the box in the basement. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to cut off your cannas down here close to the bottom, right down close to the ground. Whether they're in a pot or in the ground, that's how you're going to want to cut them, right close to the ground. And then you're going to want to dig them up. So you'll do that to all of your plants, get them cut. If they're in a pot, get them all cut, and then and I'll show you what to do next. Now you can either plant your cannas in the ground or in a pot. If they're in a pot, they're easier to get to the roots, because you know you can just dump them out on, and I've got a tarp laying down here, and you're just going to dump the dirt out of the of course I put a bucket in the bottom of mine so that I don't have to put so much dirt in there, and then some weed fabric just to keep the roots from going everywhere. But this just allows you to dig the dirt around them easier and not have to worry about breaking and cutting into the bulb, because you can see that bulb right there. Those are what we're trying to go for and get out of here. And these are, they're in there. You're going to break them apart a little bit, but it just takes a little bit of time to get the dirt from around them. It's good to do when they're dry, where they haven't had so much water. We've had so much rain the last couple of days that they're pretty wet. I hadn't watered them for a while because I knew I was getting close to having to do this, and the dirt just comes away from them easier when it's dry. But it's not coming away too bad. But it just takes a little bit of time to get all of the dirt around, and they will eventually start to separate, because there's 3 different groups in here that I planted. So this was one, and then I can try to get as much dirt away from it as possible. Once I'm done getting the dirt without breaking it anymore, because there's the old root from last year that I used to plant. This is all the new that came from it. I will set this on my table and I will let it dry, and then once it dries, a lot of this dirt will come right out of there. So I'm going to just put it on my excuse me, on my excuse me, on my porch table and just let it dry. And they will break apart, and that's okay. But that allows you to, and the old stuff you probably should break off and not keep. If there's life in it, you can. You could cut this end off here that is rotten and keep this, because it's got a sprout, so it will bloom. But these are what you're going to just let them dry a little bit and have all these roots to plant next year. So you would do this to all of them and then sit them out and let them air dry for a couple of days. It would be good to do it when it's going to be nice and kind of warm and dry, no rain, so that they will kind of cure a little bit. And then you can put them in your box with the people use Rubbermaid totes, people use boxes. I've used a box, and I've put straw in the bottom of my box and just layered them in the box. But this is what you gotta do. So you definitely want to really make sure that you do these when they're kind of dry, because this one's a lot wetter than the last one was, and it's really hard to get around all of this to try to get all of the dirt off of the bulbs itself. So this is something, definitely make sure that you do it when they're drier, because it will come apart a lot easier. The other one was pretty dry. Apparently where it sat, it didn't collect a lot of rain in the last 12 days that we've had rain. Where this one must have gotten a ton of rain, because it's just caked around the roots. A little bit more difficult to do that, but if it was in the ground, you'd have to be trying to dig around this, and this is where your thing is, so you think this would be where you could cut, and if you cut the shovel down there, you'd be cutting off all of these roots here that are way out. So it is easier, I think, if you're going to plant these, to try to plant them in a pot. Seeing you have to dig them up, it just makes it easier as far as trying to have to do something with them. But you do have to kind of break them apart. See, this one happened to not be connected to anything else, but you don't know that till you start breaking. Once you do that, oh, there's a little one. Oh, he's kind of the root of what we used last year. But you're not going to get it all out. It's going to be when it's wet like this, it's going to be too hard to get it all out. So you just, leave it in there, let it dry, and it'll flake out. But yeah, it's a lot different if they're wet compared to if they're dry. So this is all of the cannas that I had gotten out of the pots that I had, and I've got them on my table to just dry out. I'll let them sit here for a day or two. As long as if it's going to rain, I'll pull them in and I'll put them in the box and get them ready to store. But as long as it's not going to rain, I'll just leave them out here for a couple of days and allow them to kind of cure and dry out a little bit so that they'll store better. My box is just a long cardboard box that I have, and I have a bed of straw in the center of it that I just lay them in, and I put the cover down on it, and I sit them in the basement and let them dry and stay in the basement just like that. And I've had no issues with them over the past 4 years that I've been putting them in the ground. So that is how I do my cannas. Well, everybody, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on how to care for your canna plants, get them winterized, and store them for spring planting. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. It does benefit me by you subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, hit that notifications button. Ring that bell. Every time I put out a new video, if you ring the bell, it'll notify you that I've got, that there's a new video out. Comment down below. I would really love to hear from you. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.